Brexit triumph, MEP T.A.U.N.T.E.D EU over severe democratic deficit before trade deal success. Brexit trade talks finally reached their conclusion despite warnings from anti-EU MEPs, including one who once blasted the technocratic union for holding back sovereign states. Prime Minister Boris Johnson told the UK that a historic trade deal between the EU and Britain had finally been reached. The deal now needs to pass through Parliament before this week's December 31st deadline. He and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen clinched the deal on Christmas Eve after haggling over fishing rights. Despite the feel-good factor embraced by the UK, over in Brussels the mood struck a more somber tone, with Ms von der Leyen underlining that she felt relief that we can finally put Brexit behind us. Debate had continued for months, and only at the last minute did it emerge that a deal could be struck, with Mr Johnson previously warning the UK to prepare for no deal. The wrangling over issues such as the so-called level playing field and fishing rights left a deal in jeopardy, leading some MEPs in the European Parliament to accuse the bloc of stifling Britain, as it sought to leave. One critic was Finnish MEP Laura Huhtasaari, who argued inspirational Britain was striving for more freedom and democracy as negotiations over trade begun earlier this year. She told Parliament that once the UK left, the EU will never be the same again, because Britain will reach its full potential, and that will cause criticism against the EU in the remaining 27 member states. Mrs Huhtasaari added, "People are going to realise that the current technocratic EU is just holding us back. A truly sovereign state is able to decide on its own laws, taxes and borders. As a member of the EU, a nation-state relinquishes these rights, which creates a severe democratic deficit. Fears other nations will leave the bloc have been rife in the years following the historic Brexit referendum in 2016. Eurosceptics in countries such as France, Finland, the Netherlands and Italy have vocalized their anger at the bloc, with some arguing major changes to how the union is run were needed. One major fallout occurred as a result of the bloc's decision to set up the Coronavirus Fund, which was used as loans and grants to help the countries hardest hit by COVID-19. Around €750 billion, £668 billion was offered, but talks over the fund sparked a bitter divide between those suffering the effects of economic decline, and those demanding more frugal packages be offered.